Hello, for those of you who don't know, my name is Lynn Turner and I'm Betty's sister-in-law, Peter's wife. I spoke to Betty many times on the phone, although I only met her once when she came over to the Gold Coast for her sister Joan's 70th birthday. Betty stayed with us for a week or so, and Frankie, our dog, was very protective of Betty and used to sleep near her every night. Frankie also wanted Betty to constantly play with her. Frankie would get so impatient and stamp her little feet at Betty, who would just say, "Go away, dog," because she couldn't remember Frankie's name. Betty's a real sweetie, and we'll all miss her very much.
Hello, Bet. I'm assuming that you can see and hear this. I need to tell these people something about you. Firstly, our family was thought of as being quite clever, except for me because I was considered to be the dumb sheep of the family. Big brother Graham was a member of the Mensa Club, which is a club for high IQ people, and Dad always thought that he was the smartest of the smart, of course. That being recognised, there is one thing that has always been clear to me. Elizabeth Harcourt Tuxworth, née Turner, was the smartest of all the family by far, and I don't exclude children and grandchildren in that assessment either. Let's take a look. You learned to read at home before you went to school, even though you started school at 4 years old. You had to go to a Catholic convent because regular school wouldn't take children that young. You passed the entrance exam to get into the elite school for clever kids known as Perth Modern in high school, but you had to wait an extra year to get in because, again, you were too young. Graham, the smart one, never made it, and Sister Joan only just scraped through. You were a Queen's Guide and a patrol leader, and despite this you were always modest to the point of being shy, and always caring. You once told me that you were walking to catch a bus with the guide captain, and she made the comment, "Of course you're a prefect at your school, aren't you?" You were amazed that Cap would even think such a thing. At school, you were quiet and studious and learned things and got good marks, but otherwise you were hardly noticed. On the other hand, in the right place at the right time and with the right people, you would really shine. At one time, someone was talking to Auntie Connie about Sister Joan. This person said how wonderful and talented and gifted Joan was. Auntie Connie said, "Yes, that is all true, but you should have seen Betty when she was one. She literally sparkled." And that's what I remember, Bet. Whenever you entered a room, it would light up under the power of your personality. Just to make it clear, Auntie Connie wasn't our real auntie. She was just a special lifelong friend and our mother's bridesmaid, something like Barbara's friend Taylor Maid is to Barbara. So Auntie Connie's observations were for someone outside the family. Some say that you're not as smart as you used to be because of the medication and medical treatment. But we know that's not true, don't we, Bet? I came over for Barbara and Ian's wedding just a little while ago and had a chance to talk to you. You told me about how you had arranged things for the family and got into the nursing home of your choice and so forth. I said, "You always were the smartest in the family." And you made no comment at all. So I asked you why. You said nothing. You said, "Well, of course I am." And that sums it up. You're always the smartest, but you are so modest that only a few other people know it. At the same time, if you ask your lifelong friend Auntie Louise, she will tell you that her best friend Betty was the most caring of all people. You and Louise went through nursing training together at the Royal Perth Hospital, so Louise can tell more about you than I could ever hope to do. What I do know is when I was little, I'm 8 years younger than you, our mum was not the most caring person who ever lived. When it comes to the mothering instinct, my mum was my best friend and would do really fun things together. But she was not good on the mothering and caring side of the deal. So when I came along, you took on that role. Joan writes in her books about how people would say Betty was such a good little mother and Joan was envious. And here is the bottom line. Joan always tried to compete with everything you did. At school, in Girl Guides and in life. You never competed. You never had to. You never tried to compete with others. You were just you. Others might talk about how your life became messed up. None of that matters now. I know that you are my sister, and I might be biased, but still, I think that you are one of the most wonderful people who ever lived. God bless you, Betty.
How are you doing in the spin class? Amy, when you're ready, I'll take it.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Mr. and Mrs. Courthope's wedding breakfast. I'm sorry that I'm not able to be as what I should to be the bride's mother, but I hope that you will also forgive me. Firstly, I would like to say that Barbara has often asked me about when she was born, and I can't remember. I can remember, I can tell you all sorts of stories about when Tim was born, and a particular story about when Helen was born.
But you won't.
But I can't remember when Barbara was born, not even the time of the day it was. But anyway, she still grew up. And as she grew up, she became to be a very sprightly little girl. And she walked early, and when we were living in Rockhampton, she climbed right up to the back stairs of the house. When we didn't know where she had gone, she could hardly walk, but she could climb up about 20 steps to get to the top. And then she also, when she grew up a lot longer, we were living in Bunbury, and she, pardon me, she was doing dancing, and each year she took a different part in the concert, and Taylor has got a picture of each of her costumes that she had when she was dancing, and you can all go and have a look at them afterwards. And I made each of those costumes for her when she was doing her dancing lessons. And so I'll hand over now to Tim to tell you some more about living with Barbara.
Well done.